Versatile Mage. Chapter 408 Transfer Student. Fire School. In smaller cities, there were fewer students with the fire element in a class, but for Pearl Institute, which had selected great talents across the nation, the fire element was rather common. Most students who were eligible to join the main campus would have achieved the intermediate level. At this stage, everyone would have some savings by now, thus if they were really keen on awakening the fire element, they would most likely use guided awakenings to improve the odds of getting the element they wanted. Therefore, there were lots of students with the fire element. Now that his double innate element's talent were exposed, Mo Fan knew that he had nothing left to hide. After all, the fire element was his main element. It was about time he competed for some resources at the main campus that would let him improve further. His fire element Nebula had ranked up to the 3rd tier. Even though he was still a distance away from owning the advanced level Galaxia, things like cultivation accumulated over time, so he should make preparations for his next breakthrough. The fire element students in Pearl Institute were specifically placed under the fire school. It had more than 2,000 students. Over 1,000 of them were fairly active at school, with a countless number of graduates in the past. Mo Fan had picked the right time. It turned out to be the day the results of the monthly test for the fire school was announced. The aim of the test was fairly simple, to determine the distribution of the resources. Those with higher ranks would receive more resources. The amount of resources needed from intermediate level onward was more or less a bottomless hole. Having abundant resources was crucial to standing out among the students in this long journey of cultivation. Mo Fan was a transfer student. There were around 1,100 people taking part in the test. As he had never taken part in any of the tests before, he was ranked at the bottom of the leaderboard. The amount of resources he got from ranking below 1,100 was rather pitiful. Mo Fan arrived at the fire school's main hall. It was crimson red on both the inside and outside. The moment he saw the eye-piercing color, he could subconsciously feel the place burning. Glancing at the walls and the pillars, he could see the ripples of flames. As he looked at them from a different angle, it seemed like the flames were swaying and burning. The hall had a flight of seats perfectly aligned together. The place was fully crowded and lively when Mo Fan arrived. To his relief, there were lots of girls when he glanced ahead. Mo Fan quite enjoyed the view. Somehow the girls had a hot, sexy aura, perhaps because they had all awakened the fire element. Mo Fan chose his spot together with a group of beautiful girls. He took a deep breath and inhaled a seductive scent, mostly that of roses mixed with some other perfumes. It totally highlighted the desire of the fire element girls toward exciting and passionate things. "Hey, you look rather unfamiliar. Are you from another element, trying to sneak in to get close to our Ding Yuming? With your looks, it would only happen in your dreams." A short-haired girl in front turned around and asked disdainfully. Mo Fan quickly felt his temper rising. It was the second time on the same day that someone was doubting his looks. How unforgivable. First, it was a sissy man, then a tomboy. We've taken this spot at the same time. Why shouldn't it be that you girls are interested in me instead? Asked Mo Fan. The girls around him turned to him. Their eyes were saying the same words. Shameless prick. To Mo Fan's surprise, a girl with hair smooth like silk sitting diagonally in front did not turn her head back. As a matter of fact, Mo Fan had his eyes on her since the beginning. Her hairstyle was rather attractive. Her hair was braided at the top, like a soft veil covering her head. It gave her a rather elegant and noble aura. Girls like her usually had better taste. She surely agreed with his words. If you're smart, you should find yourself another spot at the back. Stop being a nuisance here. This place belongs to us. It has been like that for half a year, said the tomboy. What if I don't? Said Mo Fan with an indifferent attitude. Let me tell you, I, Huang Xingli, am ranked 300th on the leaderboard for the fire school. I can easily beat you up. Don't force me to do it. The guys from the healing element charge quite a lot for their service, said the tomboy who called herself Huang Xingli. Xingli, forget it. Don't stir any trouble, said the girl who was most likely Ding Yuming. She did not turn around still. Mo Fan could only see her noble hairstyle, which made his heart itch. Yuming, you're too kind to the annoying flies, that's why they keep coming. You should just beat the shit out of this one, so the rest won't even bother coming anymore. I seriously don't understand why someone like you would awaken the fire element, said the tomboy. Mo Fan sat aside and listened. He could not wait to see what the girl called Ding Yuming looked like. Unfortunately, she never turned her head around. A while later, the elemental director for the fire element, Wei Rong, stomped into the hall. He was rather imperious. His entry immediately silenced the hall, despite being filled with more than 1,000 students. He walked to the stage and glanced at the flight of seats, the students of the fire school. Which one of you is Mo Fan? Asked Wei Rong. Mo Fan was startled. He stood up with a confused look. Everyone immediately focused their attention on him. It was fairly rare that the elemental director would be calling out someone's name among more than 1,000 students. So you're the new transfer student? Asked Wei Rong. Yes. Mo Fan nodded. It's already close to the end of the semester. What were you thinking? This place doesn't welcome trash who just wander around like you, said Wei Rong without mercy. Wei Rong had always been hot-tempered. He strongly objected when he heard a student was transferring into his school. To his surprise, the student had a rather formidable background. The dean had handled the official paperwork himself, thus he could not even do anything about it. However, different elemental schools were under different jurisdictions. Wei Rong did not care how formidable the kid's background was. He would not show any mercy to him on his territory. His fire school might have many students, but only elites were allowed to enroll. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.